Hello guys, in the previous lecture we add an image to our profile and we did some cleanup like fixing the sign route so that the sequence is correct, and lastly we added a logout route. In this lecture we are going to add one last piece of the puzzle to our beloved e-commerce website, and that is adding an edit feature. So let's get started. Go back to Tom, alright, go to routes and then click user.js, and after that right below the get logout route, you want to type in two routes. One is for get and the other one is for post. Both will have the same URL name, which is edit-profile. So let's do that. So type in route.get, then you type in edit-profile. Add an anonymous function with a parameter of request response and a callback. And then you want to respond and you want to render the accounts and then the name of the page, which is edit/profile-profile.ejs, and then simply a message which will have request.flash success. Next is the post method. We have the same URL, request response, next, then you render, and then you're gonna do some logic in it, which is first you gotta search for the user, right? You're gonna type a user.find1, then the ID request.user.id, add an anonymous function with a parameter error and the result, and then in here you want to do some kind of like logic. First, if there's an error, return callback with that error. If it's the one that you type in, request.body.name, then user.profile.name is equals to request.body.name. Next is request.body.address, then simply user.profile.address equals to request.body.address. Alright, next is you want to save it with parameter of error. If error, again return callback with that error. Next is you want to kind of like, request.flash with parameter of success, and the other one is the message successfully edited to your profile, and then simply redirect the user back to the edit page, which is edit profile. Right, let's clean up a little bit. So what is going on in this route? It will be the same thing. This line of code is simply responding a page with an extra data that you put in, which is message. How about routed.post? It is basically first find a user that has the same ID as the user who are currently logged in. If there's an error, such as an internal error or the user doesn't exist, then return a callback with that specific error. If there is a user, if the user does exist, then simply replace the user's existing data with the one the user just typed in, which is request.body.name. What this logic saying is, if this is the input text that you type in, which is each input text will have a name, right? If it is input text that has name as the name or an address as a name, then simply replace that data in the database with the one that you type in. Alright? Then simply save the user's data and flash the message and store it in a session. You want to store the flash in a session so they can be used in other routes that have success as the name of the flash, which is this one, right? Which is in edit profile. Then lastly, you want to redirect the user back to edit profile page. Alright? And now let's create our user edit page. Alright, let's go to views and let's go to accounts, and you want to right click on it and want to click a new file called edit dash profile.ejs. It has to be the same name as the one that you put in the get edit profile route, which is edit dash profile dot. Actually, you don't need to put ejs, and save it. Let's go back to edit profile. So basically, we'll have the same forms, like, you know, the same forms in login or sign up. So we want to save our time, and we want to copy from accounts login.ejs, because we only have two forms, so it will be easy to copy this one. So copy the whole thing and go back to edit profile and paste it here. And you want to change a few things, like for example, instead of login, you want to change edit profile. And then you want to change this to name, because you don't want to change your email, right? And then you want to change this to name, type text, password. You want to change it to address. Then you want to change it to text. And lastly, you want to change this name to address, so that you can use the request body both for name and both for address. Okay, once we save it, let's go back to our Tom. We already know Tom, actually. Let's go to our terminal and let's kind of run that profile. Right, let's press enter. It's gonna refresh it, so there's no error. Okay, we want to go to edit dash route profile, and now it's showing the edit profile and address. But the problem right now, it's not showing the current name and the current address. So we want to change that. So let's go back to Tom and let's go back to edit dash profile. You want to enter one last piece of value, which is called value, and then you want to pass in the name of your name, user.profile.name. All right, but you gotta add a quotes in the value, right? Something like this. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna put some space, all right, so that you don't get confused. So again, copy this, go to address, and you want to paste it here. Now you want to change this to address. So let's go back to our browser and let's refresh this page. As you can see, we have a name called our current name, and we have a 0 address. We don't have any address for the time being. And next is you want to put kind of like, when you go back to profile, you want to put a button down here which will say edit your profile, right? So let's do that. So let's head back to our Tom and let's go to our profile page, which is under accounts folder, and right below this, you want to type in ahref, so it will link to a edit profile URL, and then you want to add a class which will be button. We want to name it primary, which will be color blue, and then we want to make the button big, and then you want to give it a name which is edit profile. Save it. Let's go back to Chrome and let's press refresh, and there you have it. You have a button. So let's click it. It will lead you to edit dash profile. All right, this is very cool. So let's go back to our profile. So we have another problem, which is address, right? We need to add some kind of a validation to address in this page. For example, whenever a user sign up, the form doesn't actually ask the user to enter the address. Remember, when you sign up, you only have to enter your name, your email, and your password. So the problem that will happen is, if we decided to show the address data in the profile page, it will show undefined. We don't want this to happen, as it shows a really bad user experience. And the only way to fix it is to add a validation to our profile page. So let's do that. Go to our Tom, and right below this, you want to enter like if statement. If user.address equals to empty, or if type of user.address is undefined, close this tag, and then you want to type in else. I'm going to close this tag as well. Right? So what will happen? So we copy this, we're going to paste it here. So we're going to put here, you have no address. Okay, we want to pass in a span here. I want to give it a style like an inline style like color C039 to B, and you want to enter like a font weight will be bold, and let's save it. So what happened is, if the user address in the database is empty or undefined, then it will render you have no address with CSS style that have red color. So what is typeof? Typeof is basically if you want to check the type of the variable. For example, if the variable is a number data type, then if you type in typeof and then the name of the variable, and it will be a number data type. And our variable will be undefined because we don't set any value or any data to this specific variable. So let's go ahead and test it. All right, let's press save and let's go back to our browser. Now let's press enter. And as you can see, it shows you have no address if it is undefined or empty. So let's go ahead and fix that. Go to edit profile. Let's enter Dragon Road 1190. All right, for example, let's submit. Successfully edited your profile. But the problem right now is the color is quite ugly, right? So we want to go back to the DOM, and then we want to go back to edit. We want to change this to success. Okay, and then we want to go back to our Google Chrome, and we have another problem right now. Currently, we did some problem in the routes, I believe, because we didn't, as you can see, didn't actually save the Dragon Road in the address. So let's go back to our DOM and let's go to user.js to see there's a problem. First, you find the ID. If there's an error, request a body, user profile, request a body, user. Here you are. It's supposed to be user.address. Save it. Go back to Chrome, and let's do it. Let's refresh this page. Okay, right now you want to type in Dragon Road 1190, submit, and now successfully edited your profile. Let's go back to Kylo Ren to profile. Now it's showing the address, which is road number 190. But if you go back to edit profile, it's not showing the data because in the edit-profile.ejs we didn't put a value here, of course. Okay, now save it, go back to Google Chrome, and let's refresh, and now we have it. Now everything is working fine. Congratulations, guys, who have managed to persevere till the end of section 1. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something valuable in this section. I just want to tell you guys that the authentication for Facebook will be in the last section of the course under the bonus section, so don't sweat it. The reason why, because I want to lay down the main core functionality first, then only focus on external features like security layers, admin probably, and as well as Facebook login. And there will be a quiz and coding practices to challenge you guys whether you guys are ready to move on to the next session. And remember to stay healthy and happy coding. I'll see you guys in the next session. Bye.